Transport Fever 2 bus lines. This is a video that's going to tell you a little bit about bus lines. There's a lot to cover. I'm not going to cover everything, but I'm going to show you a little bit about how bus lines work, because you probably figure out some of it on your own. I'm going to show you something that's very advanced that even the advanced players are not going to know. Over here, you see I've got bus lines, and these are from Reading to other towns. Click on Reading. See it says destinations, and you see it says line usage. So Uppingham, nobody is using any of my transportation lines. I don't know how far away. It doesn't show the distance to Uppingham. I know that Alston's in the corner. Penrith sounds far away. Didcot is definitely far away. So people have to use the line because it's too far to drive. Harwich is far away. Too far to drive. I don't have a bus to Harwich, and I don't have a bus to Didcot, and I probably don't have a bus to Middlesbrough. These are the only buses coming out. So what you're going to do, they want to go to these towns. This is how many people want to go. You see Harwich has 100 people that want to go. But it's far away. It's in the corner of the map. See how far it is up here in the corner? So what I'm going to do, right now they're connected by train. Not a good connection. They got to make a lot of transfers. They got to get on and off many buses to get there. It would be nice if they had a feature that showed how many times they had to transfer. They get on and off buses. And let's see if we got Harwich here. We do have Harwich, which means that people are flying there. People want to go there. You want to add as many different options, because the plane tickets are expensive. The bus tickets are cheap. So if I run a bus line, I'm going to get more people going. So what I'm going to do is run a bus line. There's no direct train either. Do a new line, starting here in Reading. I'm going to make it yellow so it's easy for you to see. It's going to be called Bus Harwich Reading. I do it alphabetically. Harwich comes first alphabetically. And I'm going to go up to Harwich. I'll look for a bus station. Ideally, you want the bus station to be near where you're entering the city. But in this case, I have one in the middle of the city. Now I have the stations connected. I am going to add a bus. Keep in mind, you can do this with a tram also. I'm doing Go Sport by vehicles. Bus. By. Assign. Look for bus. Harwich Reading. See, that's the line right there. You can see that's the path that it takes. Goes through the farm, through the tunnel, up the highway, and then it crosses over here on this road, which is also a highway. And it enters a town, not the most direct route. But it's also not so bad. You turn it like this, right? And then you can see that I could straighten this out. Could build a road that goes across from here over to here. Maybe it'll be faster, maybe not. It looks like there is a road. It could go over here, onto this road, onto this road. and then over here and across, but it doesn't. It chose to take the highway. So it must be faster. Obviously, I could also straighten this out over here to save a little bit of time. Okay, so that is that bus line. You're going to check your finances. This vehicle is going to take some time to get there. It's going to take a while before it does a run, and we'll check to see if it's if it's profitable. Let me drink some water. If it's profitable, there's probably going to be more people waiting, and I will add more buses. If it's not profitable, I have a couple choices. Number one, I could cancel the line. Number two, I could add stops in these neighboring towns, or I could put a stop on the highway if I wanted. I could have it stop over at this town over here, or put a stop on the highway, and maybe it will transport more people. So we're going to let this go for a moment. I'm going to open up my lines. We're going to click on vehicles. I'm going to sort it by line. We are going to look for this line here, Bus Bingham. So this is an inner city bus route. You can see it's pretty good. It makes money. What it does is it takes people from the train and the bus station and the airport and all the buildings, small town. This is what the layer looks like. And it moves the people to all these different bus stops. And I'm guessing that the gray area is a residential building. So those are the buildings you want to cover. Doesn't show if they're connected to a line or not. You click over here and you see that this building is connected. You click over here, it is connected. You click over here, it is connected. You can run tram. In fact, this has a tram line. So I've got the bus and the tram. The city has both. And what you want to do is you take your depot, the bus depot, it's easy to confuse, is right here. See, I've got the Bingham Reading line. This tram is local town. This one over here goes to Alston. So I'm going to call it Alston, Bingham. I do it alphabetically. Alston is alphabetically first. And then I am going to go back here. Got another line to Yate. Bingham Yate. So now when I click here, it's going to tell me all the inner city bus lines. There's only 3: Bingham, Reading, and Yate. So you go over here, you look at destinations, look at line usage. You got Bingham and Yate, which means that they're driving to Yate, they're driving to Reading, they're driving to Alston. Got bus lines to all those towns. Harwich is on the other side of the map. It's far away. Farthest town, they got to take a line. They're either flying there or taking the bus to the train and taking the train to another train. You know, they're getting there somehow. You don't want to target the ones that are far away until you've worked on the ones that are nearby. Like Uppingham and Gosport are kind of near. Didcot is kind of near. So we don't have a bus to Uppingham. I'll show you where it is. That's Uppingham. And that's Bingham. So I could make a line that goes between those two cities, a direct line. Do a new line. Then I start with here. I'll change it to yellow for your convenience. Gonna go, was it Uppingham? Look for the bus station. You can build multiple bus stations. You could build one in the north, one in the south, one in the east, and one in the west. When you have a lot of vehicles, it'll help. And you can make it so that it waits to pick up people. I'm not going to do it because it's a long route. You go to vehicles. Actually, I got to rename it. It's going to be called Bus Dash Bingham Uppingham. Go to vehicles. You got bus. I'm going to pick, I don't know, maybe Go Sport is closer. Pick the bus, buy. Did it buy? Maybe it's waiting for the autosave. I just bought two. I'm going to assign it to the line. I'm going to view the line to make sure it's straight. And we're going to see if it makes money. It's going to take some time to figure out if it makes money. I'm going to assign it to Bingham Uppingham. It's going to be a while before we learn if it makes any money. Okay, so we're going to go back to Reading. Reading has a lot of people, so you want the bus lines coming out of Reading. And I am going to look at, I believe it was Harwich. So you can see that there is one person who is waiting on the Harwich Reading line. It says one person. He must be on the actual bus. I guess not. That's weird. It said one person, but it's nowhere to be found. So this vehicle is the one that's making the route. And again, like I said, if it makes money and there's people waiting, we run more. My past experience with the previous version of the game, which was the original Transport Fever, was that the long-range buses did not make money. I'm going to try it out and we're going to see what happens. Obviously, that's not everything about bus routes. There's a lot more that can be discussed. However, I only got so much time. You're only going to want to watch so much. You can do multiple stops. You can have a bus that goes from one city, goes to the next city, and goes to the next city, and then maybe goes to this city here, and then maybe goes back. You could do things like that. My experience is they don't make money. Usually the direct line going back and forth is what makes the money. Also, you can improve the stations using the configure option. You can add, where all the blue dots are, you can add a building. In this case, there's not enough room, and it would destroy that other building. So I am unable to do it here. You also want to check the terminals button, and you'll notice that there's 4 different lines. There's 2 different terminals. This one has a tram. You see there's people waiting over here. There's a person waiting over here. You can switch between terminals if you don't, if you have too many bus lines coming in, or if you add a bus line, you got to manually move it to the next terminal. You can add passenger stops, and the street access I've actually never used before, but you might need it if you place your depot incorrectly. You might have to add street access. When you have a line, you can change the name using that option. You can change the color. See over here, you change the color. You can add stations. You click an existing one and add after. It inserts it after whatever you've selected. This option is to rename station. This one doesn't seem to do anything, but it does light up if your line is wrong. If I do this and click on this, that's incorrect. Not allowed to do that because that's a truck station. This is to set if it's on platform 1 or platform 2. Not sure what this does, honestly. Maybe it allows it to stop at both platforms. This you want to set load if available if you have a lot of vehicles, and full load if you don't mind it waiting, and full load all if it's very remote and you're not going to have a lot of vehicles waiting. Over here you can pick, do you want it to load people or unload, and how many people, and all different types of cargo. And obviously you can delete, you can remove all the stops, and you can click over here for buses, trams, trains, boats, airplanes. Not sure what this does. So you click for a new line, you can search for a line, you can make the window taller. I wish they made the window a lot bigger. Over here, you can view your lines. You've got bus, tram, train, boat, plane, all. So you click on bus, you can view all of your vehicles. You can look for old vehicles that shouldn't be there. Like maybe that one, these two over here might be able to go. You can see the cargo that's waiting on the line, the frequency, how often it runs, and the balance, if the line is profitable or not. And the bus lines and the cargo lines are mixed together, not separate. You have to build road and depots. You do it here, which includes the bus depot and a bus stop. The bus stop is over here in the road, like King Street, and the bus depot is the big building where a lot of people wait on the platform. You can use, obviously, predetermined streets. You've got waypoints if you don't want it to stop, but you want it to go that way. And you use these tools to add the tram track, bus only lane. You're going to want to put the bus only lane near the entrances to this area so that it doesn't become congested with other traffic. To add a bus, you go to your depot, which is always at the bottom. You want to click on bus. You're going to want to have a couple depots, have an idea, remember where they are. You buy the vehicle and then you assign it to the line. And you want to make sure you assign it to a bus line and not a cargo line. Okay, so that is my video on Transport Fever 2 bus routes. and bus lines and buses. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.